For more on what the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal is expecting from court today, I'm joined by the party's convener in that province, then Jeff Radebe, who joins us now. Babu Radebe, thank you so much for the time. Appreciate it. Of course, the circumstances not being positive themselves, but with that sentencing set to happen still at the Pietermaritzburg High Court, your expectations, please.
Well, Arabile, thanks for inviting me. Our hearts go out to the mother of our late comrade Magaqa and the entire family of the Magaqas for this very sad loss of their son. We, as the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal, we are standing very firmly that crime, especially murder, has nothing to do with the ANC. Those criminals who have now confessed to this heinous crime were not acting at the behest of the African National Congress. We want the law to take its course because we believe that justice must not only be done, but must be seen to be done.
Yeah, I mean, Magaqa was shot, of course, in July 2017 and died of his injuries weeks later, of course. Absolutely tragic in itself here. But the man who stands to be sentenced then today, of course, very significantly, Sibusiso Ncengwa, is one of 4 men charged in connection with this, but is also implicated in another situation in Umzumkhulu. Then the mayor, Luleki Ndobe, is being behind that hit as well. Would your anticipation or expectation then be for a very harsh sentence, and what would that look like?
Well, we cannot interfere with the independence of the judiciary, but we believe that such capital offense deserves the toughest of sentences in statehood in the Republic of South Africa, especially the manner in which this murder was committed, and also how they concealed this heinous crime. But we need to be thankful to the fact that eventually the conscience of the accused came to indicate that he has done this thing, so he must pay for what he has done.
I just wanted to ask about your perhaps assessment of the conduct of the defense in this one as well. Of course, there have been many question marks around that of late in other cases, maybe not necessarily this one, but perhaps the ANC's own response to the conduct of the defense.
Well, I cannot interfere with how the matter has been handled, especially the fact that I'm a former Minister of Justice. We need to ensure that those that are assigned the responsibility of dispensing justice, they need to understand that their oath of office is paramount to whatever they are doing. But now, in the end, we know that the accused has spilled the beans, he has confessed, and indicating how this heinous crime was committed. What is important now is to ensure that the family of Magaqa can have their peace by ensuring that the accused are given the appropriate sentence under the statehood, as I've indicated.
Yeah, Babu Radebe, it's been made note by the state advocate there, Elvis Itweka, that because he told the court then that Magaqa's mom, who of course had lost her son back in 2017, has not received any kind of counseling or psychiatric assessment, psychological assistance as well. Will you be trying to find a way for that to happen as well? Because of course, this is going to be a significant loss in her life and her family's.
Well, indeed, as a caring organization, we can do everything within our power and authority to comfort the Magaqa family, especially the mother, because we know the trauma that she had to undergo over all these years when it was very unclear as to what had transpired. But as the ANC, we are going to be supporting the Magaqa family as we have tried to do in the past, but we need to ensure that we have also participated also in our own special way as supporters and members of the ANC by participating in this witness impact statement in order to ensure that justice must be seen to be done.
All right. Of course, we're going to be getting that out of the Pietermaritzburg High Court then. We're still anticipating that sentencing. Babu Radebe, while I still have you on the line, it would be remiss of me if I did not ask you then as the provincial task team, whether you'll be discussing the standoff with the Democratic Alliance. I know it's a more national issue, but perhaps the sentiment towards elements like a motion of no confidence against President Cyril Ramaphosa, which hasn't necessarily been put forward and cast as yet, but it is in the offing. It is a consideration. Your thoughts around that and whether the PTT will be meeting?
Well, the PTT is meeting as we speak right now, but we're not discussing that matter, as we have correctly pointed out that this belongs to national government. In particular, the president has expressed himself very clearly on why he removed the Deputy Minister of Trade, Industry and Competition, and we support that stand. As you will recall, Arabile, in 1995, the great leader of the ANC and our people, Nelson Mandela, had to fire his own wife for traveling without the requisite permission from the head of state. My own friend and comrade, Newzroom Afrika was also dismissed by former President Beg in 2007 for traveling without the permission that is required. Those rules are clearly articulated in the ministerial handbook. So if you're a minister, deputy minister, you take your oath of office seriously. You cannot do such a thing without the authority of the president as the head of the executive.
Yeah. What do you make of the intimidation and the desire to hold the president to ransom ultimately then put forward by the DA, saying that they're not going to be part of that national dialogue, but still want to be part of the GNU? Do you see that as being contraindicatory?
Well, my view is that as a former cabinet minister, we can't have rule for some members of cabinet and rule for others. One rule has to be applicable to all members of cabinet, especially here in the Government of National Unity, regardless whether you are a member of the ANC, DA, IFP, PA. Law is the law.
Yeah.
As the German call, das Gesetz ist das Gesetz.
Indeed, das Gesetz ist das Gesetz, a very interesting German law that she actually put up, in fact, on that one. Just as a final thought then, somebody would say on the other side that if we're asking for equal treatment, then it is corrupt members of the NEC that should also then be removed as ministers, which is what the Democratic Alliance is crying out for. Would you be amenable to that if indeed they're found to be corrupt?
Well, that's the responsibility of the president as the head of the executive, who has the one who's authorized by the constitution that we adopted as parliament in 1996 to appoint members of cabinet, and also when appropriate, he then decides to remove them. That is the rule as I understand it in terms of the constitution. It is, as the lawyers call it, a prerogative of the president.
Very significant. Babu Radebe, thank you so much for the time. Really appreciate it. I know we've led on to other issues as well, but very significant to talk about this at the same time. Then, of course, we're still going to be awaiting that ruling then from the Pietermaritzburg High Court with regards to the murder and the sentencing of the killer for Sindiso Magaqa, there, of course, being Sibusiso Ncengwa, who confessed to being part of a group that killed the former Youth League leader, executions down 2017. Jeff Radebe, thank you so much for joining us there. Of course, the provincial leader then for ANC in KZN, the provincial task team leader, shall I say then, for that province.